Journey Podcast, finding the path to God. You wonder if you'll ever get out of this situation. You've tried everything on your own, but you still end up where you started. You question if I can really help. You wonder why you don't hear of any supernatural miracles today as I did before in the past. Why there are no seas opening, no iron axe floating on the water, people surviving a fiery furnace, or people getting cured immediately from a terminal disease. I can see that also right now you couldn't care about how there was a time that a donkey talked or there was fire in the sky to provide light for those who were wandering in the desert from slavery to a land flowing with milk and honey. And that's because you're waiting on your very own miracle. And I need you to understand that I am timeless. I not only want to be your refuge and strength, but I also want to be an ever-present help in your time of trouble. There were so many instances in the past when my people forgot about how I came to their rescue time after time. I always delivered them, yet they kept forgetting. And they not only forgot of how I made wonders, miracles, and supernatural occurrences, but they kept forgetting that I heal the brokenhearted. I bind their wounds. I give strength to the weary and increase the power of the weak. They kept forgetting that those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. That I am the one who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, "Do not fear. I will help you." My son, my daughter, as you listen to this, maybe you've fallen into the same mistakes so many people did in the Old Testament. You're worried about the future because you've forgotten how I have helped you in the past. No wonder your anxiety gets the best of you. No wonder worry controls you. It's because you've forgotten that I have promised that when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. And when you walk through fire, you shall not be burned, and the flame will not consume you. You've forgotten that though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace be removed, because no weapon formed against you will prevail, because vindication comes from me. I will fight for you. You need only to be still. Remember how I've helped you in the past and trust that I'll do it again today. Have you ever wondered why you don't hear about miracles today like there were before? Why don't you hear of a bush on fire that doesn't burn? Why don't we hear of people being healed immediately after hearing the words, "Get up"? Or why don't we hear about seas opening so that someone can pass through them? Could it be that God got tired of helping? Could it be that we are too sinful, that God has become reluctant to bless? In the Old Testament, there was a young man who also questioned whether God could perform miracles as he once did before. His name was Gideon. His country was oppressed by the Midianites, their enemies, that they had to hide themselves in the mountains, in the wilderness, and in caves. One day an angel appeared to Gideon, who was also hiding, and said to him, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Gideon replied, "Pardon me, my Lord, but if the Lord is with us, why has all of this happened to us? Where are all of his wonders that our ancestors told us about when they said, 'Did the Lord not bring us out of Egypt?' But now the Lord has abandoned us and given us into the hand of Midian." Another way to understand this was Gideon saying, "Sorry, Lord, but if you're really with us, why is all of this happening to us? All of the wonders that you did, where are they? Why don't you do the miracles as you did when you took us out of Egypt? Our ancestors have told us about the wonders you did before, but now you have abandoned us. You've let us fall into the hands of our enemies." Well, could it be that you've also questioned God because you feel that He is not present in your life? Could it be that somehow you feel that maybe God does not care about what happens to you? Could it be that you feel you have a multitude of enemies and problems surrounding you and you have no escape? Well, there's good news. When the Israelites cried out to the Lord because of Midian, he sent them a prophet who said, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I've brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. I've rescued you from the hand of the Egyptians, and I have delivered you from the hand of the oppressors. I drove them out before you and gave you their land. I said to you, I am the Lord your God. Do not worship the gods of the Amorites, in whose lands you live, but you have not listened to me." In other words, God was saying, "Oh, what little memory. Remember that it was I who brought you out of the bondage and the chains. Remember that I was the one who freed the people. Do not forget, there is no one like me, and no one can do what I can, but you do not trust me. You prefer to look for other gods, other solutions, instead of trusting in me." Gideon forgot that God can repeat the story. He had spiritual Alzheimer's. Remember this, we have nothing to fear for the future unless we forget the way that the Lord has led us in the past. Maybe you've forgotten how God has done something really awesome for you at some point in time. Do you remember it? Take this time to remember how God has helped you in the past. Now, take this time to pray to God. Ask Him to help you to remember how He has led you in the past. Ask Him to help you to remember that if He's done it before, He'll do it again in your life. Ask for more faith. Take this time now to make your specific petition known unto God, having the faith that He will do miracles again in your life. Thank you for listening to Journey Podcast. See you next Sunday.